Hi, Democrats. Today is Monday, February 28th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Monday. Today is February 28th, the last day of so-called Black History Month. I call it so-called Black History Month because Black history is every day. Every day, African Americans are in the world making a difference. But since we're here, I do want to talk about Harry Belafonte. Not just because, he's a good looking old man, not just because, I like the song, the Calypso song, or better known as Deo, but because of his political activism. Harry Belafonte was born in New York City. He's the son of immigrants. And when he met Paul Robeson, who was an activist, it kind of changed his life. And in the 60s, he was super active in the civil rights legislation and activism. He set up a bail fund, what we call a bail fund, during the 1963 Birmingham campaign. He set up a bail fund. He went down there with $50,000 solely to bail people out because he knew that they were going to be arrested. We have modern day jail funds, but you just never think about it in that way. He financed the Student Nonviolent Coordination Committee, or otherwise known as SNCC. He financed that. He bankrolled that. He was very active. He was on the front lines. He actually marched. He marched in Alabama. He marched in DC. He marched all over. He was a confidant to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And the reason why I think it's appropriate to talk about Harry Belafonte, other than the fact that his birthday is coming up, is because he's an activist. And with a lot of the things that have been happening lately, our activists seem to be a little restless, anxious to do or say things that make a difference. And there's some talk that the party doesn't like activists. So I want to be very clear about this. It's my belief, and if you're an activist who's brave enough to talk to me, you've heard me say, I believe in activists. I believe that they are the flashlight and the megaphone that highlights what the ills of society, what's happening, what needs to change, and what people think. And then legislation is what makes the change. I believe in activists. I believe that we all have a role to play. But I like activists like, the times of Harry Belafonte, where they just didn't show up for marches. They didn't, as today, use their Twitter followers. They actually made a difference. They actually put their bodies on the line. They actually put their checkbooks on the line. That's what makes a difference. That's what bankrolls an action to make it happen. And that's what we need to, for the folks who are out there being activists, I thank you for highlighting what it is that we need to be focusing on. I encourage you to then talk to your legislators and make sure that there's legislation to make sure that what you want change gets changed. And if there's not a legislator currently in office that you think is receptible to your message, help me find somebody who will be receptive to your language, to your message, the things that you want changed. Help me find that candidate who will hear your message, translate it into legislation, and make it part of our state law. That's what's important. You can get all the Twitter likes in the world and all the Facebook likes and, googly eyes that you want. It doesn't matter if we don't change legislation. It just doesn't. It's just one thing that we'll have to talk about forever and ever. So for those who think that I am anti-activist or that the party is anti-activist, we're not. We are all activists in our own way, but we all have a lane to fill. So I am grateful for activists. I encourage activists to take it a step further and make sure that their messages don't just get hollered through a megaphone, but are actually taken to lawmakers so that they can change it into actual law. because that's what makes the real change. That's what makes sustainable change. That's what we can hold folks accountable to. So, you knew I was going to bring it back. One of the things that, Harry Belafonte talked about all the time was dissent is what makes democracy. And it is true, right? What is it? Power never gives up anything without demand, never has, never will. It is not just going to happen. There has to be activism, and then there actually has to be work. And a whole bunch of Facebook posts don't change the law. It really doesn't. Talking to legislators or electing legislators, selecting legislators is what makes the difference. And I'm going to be very, very clear. It's not that hard. I used to think that only special people knew how to get people elected. Only the elite few could get elected. No, that's not it. You know who can get elected? The person that you will vote for. That's who gets elected. You know who can put somebody up to be elected? You. It's not special. You have to know someone and get them in contact with people who know the process and walk through the process, which is available online. It's not special. There are no special gatekeepers. There are no certain people that they have to go through. There is a process that is outlined to the public. We're here to help you, but everyone who meets the criteria, right, have been in the state long enough and who meets the job criteria and is a registered voter can run for office. They're just citizens, just like you and me, guys. Help me find somebody that you can vote for, and then vote. We've got to vote. So help me find somebody that you can vote for. And once you talk somebody into putting their name on the ballot, you have to support them with your time, with your money, with your vocal support. You've got to support them or else they won't get elected, and we'll keep having what we have. I did a deep dive research on Senator Inhofe today, just reviewing his greatest hits. That man has been running for office for as long as I've been on this earth, longer than I've been on this earth. And my peers are grandparents, folks. So it's been a minute that man has been in office, and we just keep letting him be in office. We have an opportunity to elect someone different. We have an opportunity. And I don't mean different, not him. I mean different in theology, different in what is good for Oklahoma and what is good for our nation. Help me find a good candidate. All right. Thanks for joining me. Tune back in at 6:30 tonight. Join Scott on the Hamilton Report. Well, he will be talking to 3 young African-American Oklahomans who are making history every day. So that's tonight at 6:30 on the Oklahoma Democrats YouTube page, Oklahoma Democrats Facebook page. All righty. And I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15. Have a great one.